Today on Project Shop, we're getting back on this trailer load of scrap. And I took a huge load down to Miami already. I made like 1,700. Got Oliver here with me today. What we're gonna do now is focus on all these decorative lights, get them knocked out, and then we'll worry about, there's a whole bunch of these lights right here. I'm not sure if they got transformers in them or not. They look like CFLs in there or something like that. But we're gonna blow through all this, get some transformers up on the table, crack them, recover some copper, and hopefully make $1 or $2. Okay, while Oliver's bringing those in, I'm gonna see about how these come apart. And it looks like we got our favorite flathead. And thanks to John, one of the subscribers, he sent me a whole bunch of flatheads. Unfortunately, that's a thing. So I'm going to figure how to get these apart and condense them while Oliver brings them all in. Looks like we got a little transformer. Looks like double copper, man. Now I'm not gonna sit here and think that they're all gonna have double copper, but nice to dream. Now I wonder if I should set the jaw up or if we should just crack these with a hammer. I want to condense these down. This is just really a big waste of space. I'm pretty sure if we just smack them, that would be way faster than the jaw. Then we can just break them like that. And then that'll condense down really well. Let's see about how to get this top off. Are they all gonna be flatheads? That's gonna suck. Oh, in that last video, I saved this because I wanted to, oh, look at that. I wanted to show what I was doing. Let's see if it works. I've been saving these because I think, is this the box? Yeah, I got a whole box of corn cobs. I'll use them myself, man, I don't care. Like I said, I put one out back here, and it's bright. It's super bright and works really well. We got an absolute mess on this tail. I'm hoping by the end of the weekend, I'll have this cleaned off. Nice chunk of cast. I need to get a barrel in here for cast and whatnot. That's a piece of cast aluminum, and that's brass. I literally have an overflowing bucket of these light sockets over there. We'll just put them on the table for now. Yeah, we're gonna need a bin. Okay, so now we got this lid on here. Looks like it's just all aluminum. I might just be able to juke it backwards. Yeah. Okay. Now we can stack these. That's not really gonna stack. And then these. Oh, that's nice. It is actually going to come apart pretty easy, I think. See a full one with all the goodies. Okay, so let me give Oliver his screwdriver. See, in cases like this, I might set the jaw up because I just cut that and be done with it. All right, look, man. These things have like a half cam. Most of them are going to be off. So look, take it and just break it off. Okay, real simple. Okay, let's see where we're at. Ha ha ha, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Perfect. And then the same thing with those, where are those things at? Hey man, dump this thing out. Dump that in the trash. Put that in the trash. Yeah, that's much better than sitting there trying to unscrew that. That is a brass nut on there. Now, these things will stack nice. I guess we can just leave this right under here. Perfect. All right, now that we got that set up, we'll wait till we get a bunch. I could even cut the other side off of that. That's cast. This got a little ring in there, sheet metal. This is gonna have to go. Hey. Don't worry about trying to break that off. Bring that right over here. I'm gonna cut that with the jaw. These, you know what? These are actually sheet metal. That sucks. Oh, before I distracted myself, I was going to tell you about these light fixtures, man. Let me break a couple of these down and then I'll show you what they're about. It's actually a really nice fixture. Tedious, but if you take it apart, it's well worth it. And we need number 2 insulated. We'll figure that out. So these things are actually coming apart pretty darn easy. Okay. Uh-oh. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. How the hell did they get that in there? When in doubt, cut it out. That's what I'm talking about. Just gonna crack the crap out of this cast aluminum. It's a little relief. there we have it. We're gonna nickname that thing the Liberator. All right. You see that screw? Oh, you got one of those. Man, let's just see if we can't. Let's do that. Save all the bullshit, man. Matter of fact, just do that to every one of them. Yeah, put it like that and kick it down. There you go. Act like it's that teacher that gave you a bad grade. Okay. See what we got. Flathead. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and assist him in the smash and grab. Freaking flatheads, man. Seems like electricians, or not electricians, the electrical companies are like the last ones using these. Oh, we got a third. That's aluminum sheet. More flatheads. A lot of times you can get away with just putting your finger back there to hold them bolts. Huh, look at that. These ones here, I'm pretty sure, are all copper. I need to find my good, I have like an old crusty pair of those cutters. They work so good. See, I like these because you get so much more out of one snip. And they're spring loaded. Okay, we need to figure out what we got going on here. Clean this table up a little bit. Matter of fact, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Get this shit out of the way. Yeah, let me get this out of the way. I'll show you before this camera gets hot and shuts off. This tediousness. And these were dirty, and then, you know, you don't want to strip these out. So you'll see me in a lot of times, I like to smack the back of the drill as it kind of, because sometimes you only get one shot. You want to make sure you're planted down in there, man. You'll strip these things out real quick, and then you'll be fighting them. These are actually coming out really nice. But you get into them old crusty corroded things, it only takes a second to strip these out. And then if you do strip them out, sometimes if you take a hammer and just smack the top of the screw, oh, see that? That's why I do that. What it'll do is actually basically squash it down and reform the the Phillips head, and you might get a second chance at getting it out. Sheet. All right, now this is where this one gets a little, it actually ain't too bad. This stuff comes right out. But the reason I wanted to take these all the way apart is just most of this is extruded. And it just, come on, it just comes apart. Actually comes apart relatively simple. Oh. And there was something. Oh no. Tell me this is too. Oh, there we go. Got a lot of dirt in there. Still coming. So these are like heavy cast, okay? And then there was a big nut driver here. Is this one? We got a mess over here on the bench, man. I really hate when my tools and my scrap are all mingled together. Sheet. I think this is like the only piece of metal on this whole thing. Not too bad. But then this look at, this is nothing but a giant heat sink. Those LEDs were screwed to the bottom of that. These are huge chunks of cast. Big heavy chunks. I mean, this fixture was pretty heavy. And this cast adds up pretty fast. And then this whole thing right here and the door is a giant piece of extruded aluminum. Clean that up a little bit. I usually don't worry about anything that's not magnetic, but we'll make it look nice for them. Okay. Oliver's over there trashing shit. All right, we need a drum for extrusion now. Just gonna set these up here for a second. I don't know how much more extrusion we're gonna get through today, but let's see. Unscrew it or smash it? I say smash it. Smash it. Hell yeah. We don't need tools where we're going. Man, that's the best way to get these apart. Oh. You're playing with me, huh? Okay. All right, now we got some space cleared. We can get some work done. Where's my flathead? And then I'm gonna hit the time lapse. We'll knock out all these lights and then move on to the next style. Hopefully I'll make a little progress here on the table. But hey, I'm glad we're getting a little bit of transformers out of this. I didn't think we were going to get much. Hopefully by lunchtime we'll have a nice little pile of transformers. There's some big boy transformers in there. Got a few on the table. But yeah, we're just going to continue smashing and scrapping. And we'll get all this out of here, cleaned up, loaded on the trailer, weighed up, and then we'll come back. We'll see what's next. Okay, we got a sun shower going on outside, but we're making some decent progress. Got a bunch of clean cast on the trailer. We got some transformers we recovered. I think half of them are 50-50, unfortunately, but we're gonna crack them. We have this whole mess. Here, I'll get that in a second. Or you know what? Yeah, let's get that out. Get them domes. Look at these big old transformers here. 1,000 watts. I can tell already that's 2 copper, 1 aluminum. I think we got 3 or 4 of those. How many more of those are left?
I think 3 or 4.
3 or 4 more of these?
Yeah.
All right. We're just gonna overwhelm ourselves here for a minute. Just go stack that over there. Oh, extrusion. Clean, ready to go. That's the way we like it, man. Just pick up clean stuff. All right. Let's get to work. I'm gonna send that just the way it is. What do we got? A bunch of these white things. Man, I wonder if there's no ballast in here, we're just gonna knock out the glass. I don't think there's anything in here. Try to figure out how this thing comes apart. Looks like we have some type of clip. A clip doohickey. Huh. Phillips, maybe? Oh, there's literally nothing in there, really. It's all aluminum. All right, Oliver, all these white things, take the hammer. If there's glass in it, smash the glass. And then we're just gonna weigh them up, send them as cast. Ain't worth breaking down. All right, what do we got here? Oh, nice. Big chunk of steel. And a Phillips. I tell you, my back is killing me. I've been compensating with my right arm for like 2 weeks now, or almost 2 weeks. We're gonna have to get a drum in here for prepared steel or something. This is gonna be awkward. Yeah, they're not gonna fit, but probably have to get the cable cutter. This might be one of those when in doubt, beat it out scenarios. Yep. Hey, that's number one. We might even strip that. Okay. Trash. Now we can get to our bolts. Stainless? Yes, I do believe so. Prepared. And then what do we got here? We got like 3 of these things to do. All right, let's just see what it takes. Feels heavy enough. There might be a transformer in there. Interesting how they have these tabs. Like, how do they even get the glass in there? Oh, I guess they slid it in. That makes sense. Okay. Duh. That looked already stripped. That broke off. I can feel some weight down in there. Nice. Okay. Oh, that's a heavy ballast there. I'll leave that right in there. That's clean. That can go. Yeah. So. Well, throw it in there for now. I guess go get one more load. It stopped raining. Just throw that in there. Oh, over there. Alright. We're gonna have to start dealing with that steel pretty soon. And this cast. Let's see what we got. Copper. That's what we're here for. Okay. Alrighty. Man, what a mess. This table is like, my OCD is in overdrive right now. I'm just gonna have to finish that micro scrapping. Seems like every time I try, something comes up. Let's see. We got another one here. Try to get these all done at the same time. These big freaking brackets out of my life. Stainless. There's so many different styles of these lights. They really can become quite tedious dealing with them. So you always try to get the same ones at the same time. You get in a good rhythm. It's like with anything else. It's that repetitive, and then you just find the tricks as you go. You know? It really does have some prepared steel. Actually a nice bracket. It's all #1 copper. Or #1 insulated. Might even strip that. Who knows? One day I'll get to all them things, man. We'll have a nice little chunk of brass. Some mercury in there. I wanted to build something to crush these and run it through like a contained system and recover the mercury, because mercury's like $3,000 a gallon, I think. or something like that. Oh, we missed a screw. I don't know if Mercury's 3,000. I thought maybe that's what I heard somewhere at one point in time. I don't know if that's the actual price. But I know it ain't cheap. Oh, that's got a bigger transformer in there. All right, we're just gonna send that like that. Go find another drum. Is there any more drums outside? No? All right. Work on getting those transformers up on the table. There's a dikes right there. And use that drum. Nasty. Okay. Hey man, at least we're recovering transformers. That's my favorite thing to do. That'll always be my all-time favorite scrap. It's transformers, because transformers were my first introduction into scrapping. Like, I really never scrapped anything my whole life. And the funny thing is, I work for a huge demolition company. Mainly cutting concrete. And man, if you would have known how much copper and aluminum I cut through and scrapped and just watched go into a dumpster, like into garbage, over my like 10 years of doing demolition, like it makes me sad. Like I really, sometimes I want to cry. I mean, big pipes. You know, we used to do a lot of bridge demolition, and what you may not know is there is a ton of copper running through bridges. The barrier wall, we used to have this big, it's called a parapet saw, spins like big blades, called a deep cut. You know, you start out, a regular like main slab saw would spin up to like a 36-inch blade, and then you had the deep cut, which would spin up to like a 62-inch blade. So we'd be running like 48s and 54s, splitting the barrier wall, and then we had a super deep cut. My company I work for, we had it, we custom made it. It was like the only one really in the world. We had these giant quarry cutting blades for like cutting, we modified a blade that was made for cutting, what is that? Not slate, marble and shit like that. Big 98-inch blades, like literally the biggest saw blade ever. And we had a super deep cut, which would penetrate like 4 feet, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, we would split the barrier walls, and then running through the bridge in the barrier would be a pipe like this, full of cable for all the lights, all the pole lighting going across the bridge, or whatever type of lighting, or just running power from one side of the bridge to the other. They would actually run it through the bridge or under the bridge. And man, I'd cut through that stuff and just watch them take it away. And I don't know if the contractors got it or what, but towards the end, I got slick about it. And you know, what we would do is we'd split the barrier wall, and then we'd come with this big machine. It was my favorite machine. It's called a curb saw. It basically runs a blade flat to the ground like this, and say this is your barrier wall. You run the blade flat and plunge it into the wall and run it down. It's a big machine you drive on, about the size of a small car, or you know, a decent sized car. And we did some modifications to our machine. We had one of the baddest machines. It's one thing about my old boss, man. He'd let me, you know, we had some of these machines were like $100,000. We had a $100,000 wire saw, remote control wire saw. We used to do a lot of underwater cutting with it, off a barge and stuff. But my old boss would let me modify and play with these machines. I'd be like, hey man, if we did this, this, and that, I could get the job done faster. Or, you know, I always thought outside the box. Where's my damn hammer? You know, I always tried to make the company look good. And yeah, anyway, towards the end there of my concrete cutting career, as they, you know, because we would split the wall, cut it, and then a crane would come pick up a huge chunk of the barrier wall. Well, as that crane came and picked it up, I would walk over there, because we cut both sides. It'd probably be like a, you know, 20-foot section or whatever it was. So there'd be 20-foot sections of cable. I'd go over there and just grab it and pull it out of that thing and coil it up and throw it in my truck. And towards the end, man, I'd be on the job site. I was like the scrap hunter, man. I was looking for scrap everywhere. And I couldn't believe like all the scrap I would find on the job site, in the dumpsters. Not, no, and I wasn't taking it from anybody, but just stuff people would, you wouldn't believe the stuff people would throw away, you know? Like I see all the people on YouTube, all the people that, you know, they go dumpster diving and stuff. That's basically what it was. The contractors just throwing stuff right in the dumpster, you know? But I would do my job, and then after I was done, I'd go scrounge around, or I'd go ask the contractor, hey, can I have this or whatever? And I would load my work truck with as much scrap as I possibly could. And yeah, that was the last probably year I worked there, and that's what I did. And then the last year I worked there, I only worked there part-time. Funny thing is, I never quit that job, and I never got fired. Or basically what happened is I started scrapping, and then like it went, I started working for myself 1 day a week, and then them 4, and then it was like I worked for myself 2 days a week, and then I'm less. And then it got to the point where I didn't have my own truck no more. I would only do certain big high-end jobs with the big machines. I would do a lot of night work for them, demoing the bridges. And eventually it just got to the point where I was making so much money with the transformers, like it didn't make sense for me to continue working for them. And I mean, I would do work for them here and there, but you know, it just, there was a couple factors why I just stopped. And one of the main ones is the main boss, my boss, there was an issue. He got temporarily like demoted to like the mechanic, and they brought in this other guy. Actually, there was 2 guys there that were like the end for me. First guy, we called him Napoleon. Everybody had a nickname. they called me the rookie. A lot of the senior guys were like, oh, why are you sending the rookie out there to do the you know, the big jobs? Well, because I got out there, I didn't complain about nothing, and I made the company money. Lots of it. But they didn't want to pay. Florida is a right to work state, and the same company that I work for up north is union. They start them dudes off at like $50, or what was it? They would start them out at like $36 an hour or something like that. But they wouldn't pay me more than like 25, or anybody down here in South Florida. And you know, I just got tired of that. And then the real straw was this Napoleon guy coming in and basically telling me how to do my job. And me and him had a hit. Like, I was already working for myself, so if I was on a job with a bunch of the other guys, I knew those dudes needed their 40 hours, you know, and things were, this was around 2008. Things were slow, so there was like hardly any work. So all the other guys, they were kind of fighting for hours. I would be like, all right, man, you guys can finish this job. I'm going home. I got other things I can do. You guys, you know, make the money. And one day I had it out with the manager because I left the job, and I guess the contractor was like, oh, hey, your guy left. So he called me up and he's like, hey, why'd you leave? And I'm like, dude, there's not enough work. We had 3 people out there, and if I would have stayed, my work ethic, we would have been done by like 1 o'clock. Okay, so I figured I'll leave, those guys can finish the job, and you know, they can stay there the rest of the day. And he tries to tell me like, oh, you're not allowed to leave the job until I tell you, like I'm some type of slave or some shit. So, you know, me, I immediately just hung up on the dude and proceeded to go back to the shop, drop my truck off. And boy, he was hot. When I showed up, he was all puffy and puffy, little short man, Napoleon complex. And he started in on me, and I just stopped him right there. I'm like, hey dude, listen, I don't need to work. I'm doing you a favor, you know? And I just cut him off. And that was like kind of not the end. And that guy didn't last. Nobody liked him. He didn't last at all. Nobody liked that guy whatsoever. And they brought in this other dude, and I only worked for him like twice. Wow, that's crazy. Someone stashed a bulb in there. They took the transformer, stashed, that's kind of crazy. I think I know who did that. One of the employees for this company, he's matter of fact, those round lights that are on the trailer, I was supposed to go pick them up. And the guy calls me and says, hey man, don't come, because it was up in Tampa. He goes, the other guy, as he's taking the fixture apart up there, he's taking the ballast out and sticking them in his truck. So he goes, it's not going to be worth it for you to come. He goes, I'll take them back to my house and you can come pick them up. And you know, I got them with all this stuff. Oh. Anyway, back to a company I worked for. The second manager, he was kind of cool, but he was like, he put me on this big job, you know, working at night, running that curb saw that cuts flush and cuts the barrier off. And it was a big job, like 2,000 feet and of barrier to cut. And the way they had to cut it, I forget how, oh, they had to have like no slurry, which is what we ran water to keep the dust down, so there couldn't be no slurry because of the traffic. So they had guys out there vacuuming up the slurry. But what really pissed me off, and I think that was the last job I ever did for that company, is the manager had this huge job, and I'm like, all right, dude, you know, where's the blades? You know, usually a job that big, you start out with a brand new set of blades. So this guy was milling around in the blade room, and he kept pulling out these old worn out blades. Now I was cutting 15-inch barrier wall, which you need a 36-inch blade. Now you can't just start out with a 36-inch blade and bury it in there and start cutting 15-inch deep. As big as that machine was, and as big as anything, you really can only cut 2.5, maybe with a big thick blade, 3 inches at a time. And the reason for that is you'll get deflection. You get a wave in the cut. And then when you're cutting the barrier off, most of the time the reason you're cutting the barrier off is you're cutting it so they can expand the road and add a lane. And what they need to do is cut the barrier off and chip back and expose that horizontal rebar. Well, if you start getting waves, a lot of things happen. You're gonna pinch and break your blade. You're gonna dig down and cut into the rebar. You're just gonna have a ton of problems, man, right? And this is problems another company found out real quick. But he kept giving me these old blades, and what you want to do is you want to start out with a big thick 24-inch blade, okay, or even a 20, you know, because then you can really torque it and put a lot of pressure on it. What I would do is I would run the machine wide open, full throttle, put my blade in there, and I would use the travel. You know, there was no like foot pedal. Everything was hydraulic. The travel was hydraulic, the steering was hydraulic, so you had all these valves. Okay, battery died on the GoPro. Forgot where I was. Anyway, this guy was giving me, about the blades, yeah. What I would do is, I'd run the machine wide open. It's a big 4-cylinder turbo diesel. We had a big 60-gallon-a-minute pump with a huge hydraulic motor spinning the blade. And the blade is cool because it's on this arm that goes out like this and then goes down. And then, you know, you can tilt it this way, you can tilt it that way. You really had to know what you're doing and get it right, because if you're running multiple blades, if you don't cut it straight on that first blade and you got it up or you got it down or whatever, pretty much once you set the machine on that first blade, you don't want to touch none of the other pitches and yaws and whatever you want to call it. You just want to deal with the up and down and the in and out. Oh, that's easy. But I would run the machine wide open, man. And then I'd bury my blade in there and I'd back, you cut faster like in reverse, so I'd back the machine up and it's easier to kind of steer. Matter of fact, most people couldn't run the curb saw in the opposite direction because the way it steered, you would get out of, you'd run out of stroke on the rams and it'd be a mess. I'd run it either way. I was really good at that machine. And I had all kinds of modifications. And I built a whole thing on the side so I didn't get hit with slurry. I had a big umbrella if I was out there cutting in the daytime. A big old, what was it, Michelob light I got. At the time, I lived across from the Embassy Suites, and one day, they redid their whole patio and threw out all these nice, thick, really high-end, like, umbrellas. And I put it on the curb saw, so you had our company name out there, and this big Michelob light umbrella. Anyway, I would run the machine wide open, and then I'd use the pressure of the machine pushing the blade into the thing to bring the RPMs down where I wanted. And then what I would do is I'd leave the blade out there, like kind of in the middle, and I would actually use the steering to bring the blade in and out to where I went. Basically 2.5, 3 inches was the sweet spot. And you keep it in that sweet spot, and I would cut fast, man. Matter of fact, the guy that was giving me those crap blades, I got mad. And I told the dude, I was like, yo, man, you know, where I'm going to be running through these freaking blades. You're not giving me what I need to do the job. You know, I hate that. My old boss, he would just give me what I needed and let me do my thing, and I would always make the company money. These new guys, you know, they just wanted to come in there and be the boss and tell you how to do your job. I didn't like that. So we butted heads on that deal. But he comes out there to see me cutting, and he even said it. He goes, man, I ain't ever seen anyone cut that fast, and I've been cutting for 27 years. I used to show all them dudes, all them old heads, how to do the job, basically. And that's why my boss would send the rookie out there, and that job, within a year, my first year, I started out with knowing nothing about it, nothing about cutting concrete. Well, not nothing. I mean, I actually used to pour concrete before that. But within a year, I maxed out. And my boss kept telling me, man, don't tell these other guys how much you're making. Because there were guys that were there for a couple years, and I already surpassed them. It's because I took to it like a duck in water, man. Not only was I good, but I could maintain the equipment. I was one of the only operators. We had a bunch of 480 volt equipment. I'd get right in there and start working on it, figuring out if it stopped working. I'd diagnose it on the spot. I was the only operator that had a welder and an air compressor and my own tools on the truck. You know, if my boss got a call from me in the middle of the day, it's because something bad happened that I couldn't fix on the job. Other than that, I never bothered them, man. Oh, but that job, the last job I did for them, I told the dude, man, I got, I think 3 or 4 days I can give you. And he kept messing with me with these freaking, kept bringing me these bullshit blades, man. And I told him, I kept telling him, man, these blades are worn out. And the problem with that job, what the heck is happening here, was I was ripping rebar. Now, that big machine, when you're cutting barrier wall, you're running through like 2 mats of rebar, big bars too, like this. Now, cutting this way, like if you're cutting the rebar that way, the machine would just mow through. You just, at nighttime, it actually looked pretty cool. I wish I would have got some footage of it, because the rebar's like here, here, here. It's like every couple inches, you know, every 6 inches or whatever it was. So you'd be cutting, and what I like to do is I'd cut up to the bar where I just nip them on one pass. So the next pass, I bury the blade down in there deeper, because it's better to cut out here with the blade than at the end like that, right? So you'd hit that bar and it'd just be like a shower of sparks under the machine. It really did look cool. But for whatever reason, there was a horizontal bar on that bridge, and you can't move the cut. You got to cut flush. So the horizontal bar, when you start ripping a bar, you're cutting that bar down the middle like that. And I was ripping bar 20 feet long. Now, the problem with ripping a bar is once you cut through it, it likes to collapse back down on itself. And if you're not to your final depth, now you got to run your blade back through there again. And that causes all kinds of problems. So if you're good, like I was, I could rip that bar and then I could get that bar up out of the cut. And I knew how to rip the bar. There's a way to cut to where basically you want to back cut when you're ripping bar. And what you want to do is find the beginning of the bar. I don't know where my bar went. You find the beginning of your bar and bury the blade as deep as you can past it. Ride the bar all the way down, bury it as deep as you can, and then back cut through that bar and stay in it, you know. keep in that thing, and make sure your cut before that is nice and straight. That's the main thing, man. Is as long as your pre-cutting is nice and straight on any of the saws. Man, there were some people that had it looked like a windy back road, some of their cuts, man. And when you're cutting with them big blades, man, and your pre-cut ain't straight, you got that big blade in there getting flexed and twisted and rubbing, and it's really a mess. I really like that job, man. I wish they would have paid me more money. I'd still work for them. I love, you know, the demolition was awesome, man. I really like that. All right, where are we at, bro? Man, take that thing. What do we got here? Oh, man, that's way heavier than it looks. What you trying to do? Give me a hernia? Come on, grab this thing. I got a weak arm, bro. Damn. Okay. Oh, so the end of that job, actually, after like 3 days of him giving me crap blades, I cut where's my flathead? Did we lose a flathead? I cut like 75% of the job in 3 days. The guy that replaced me after I told the dude I'm done, after he wouldn't give me what I needed, took to do the last 25%, took him additional 2 weeks because he was hitting that bar and didn't you know, didn't understand how to get through it. And then they had another guy running the machine that he was blowing up blades left and right. Oh, I did run the machine one time after that. After my boss finally got his job back, they brought him back up to manager and got rid of them other clowns. I ran the machine one time, but they had throttled it down because the guy that was running the machine after I left was blowing up $1,000 blades. Some of them blades were $3,000, $4,000, and this dude was just blowing them up, man. Man, this thing is heavy. Looks like we got to get to this from the inside. This is like that one I did the other day. All right, get that out of there, man. Then we can start using that to it's too heavy. Come on. Ugh. Just set it right here. Set it down. Dag. At least there's a lot of aluminum with these LEDs. Clean that out. Clean all that glass out of there, man. And then oh. There's some kind of switch. Let me see. It's gonna be one of them when in doubt, beat it out situations. I might have to put the jaw on this. This was probably a really expensive light at one time. Is that what's on the other side too? Oh, hey, that wasn't bad. Man, I wish they'd all come with something like that. All right. Oh, it's hurting my ears. All right. Just gonna have Oliver smash this. Hey man, smash this plastic. Just kick this shit in, get it out of there, and go drag that and throw it on the scale. All right. I don't even know how that comes out. Hammer time. Okay. That's how it comes out. That looks like a nice double copper transformer. Yeah, once my old boss got his job back, he actually would call me all the time asking me if I wanted to do, because I would go do a lot of the big out-of-town jobs. That's actually one thing I miss about that company is going out of town, getting per diem checks. You know, it was almost like a little vacation for me, you know? All right, we're gonna have to hit the time lapse here for a minute. I need to get something to drink, and I need to listen to some music, and we need to blow through some of this scrap. We got some nice transformers. Nice 1,000 watters, a couple 400s, little baby transformers. So hopefully we'll get a couple more 1,000 watters out of here. And yeah, we'll see. Let's go see what we got on the trailer left. See if we made a dent. Oh, hey. I see the floor. We made a little dent. We got this big old thing here. Let me we're having problems with the crane. It's the switches are all whacked. Let's hook onto that, see if we can't pick it up. Half the switches aren't working. You got it?
Yeah.
Watch your hands. Make sure you're not going to get pinched, right? She's low on fluid, but she did it, and that's all that matters. Okay, is it lunchtime yet? Feels like it's lunchtime, dude. I'm starving. It's 11? Damn. Got more work to do. All right, we're gonna knock this stuff out, and then we're gonna take lunch. I'll tell you where we're going, right to the scrap yard.
Watch it. Look, it's dancing. You ever seen your copper dance before?
Let's see. Got a bunch of bulbs. That is the only thing you really need to recycle. This is garbage. Then you can condense that down even more. And then you take that to the dump, or you save it and try to recover the mercury, which sometimes you can see it down in there. This might have been a high pressure sodium or something. Who knows? But I'll cut all them off and I'll take that. Oh, maybe that was it. I just seen it. Oh yeah, I see something in there, right there. There's your mercury dot. Huh. Or it's something. So what else we got here? We're gonna recover a bunch of brass like this. Brass breakage. And I'll throw that with the ballast. That's basically what it is. Oh, we got a transformer. Let's cut that little thing in half. No. Okay. Ah, our little transformer. The ferrite. Nice little chunk of number 2 copper there. Huh. We might be able to process e-waste with the jaw.